Planet Water Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Water with our new podcast with, obviously, you know me, Martin Riese, your personal water sommelier. And I have my co-host, like always, Michael with me in Texas. I'm here at beautiful Petit Hermitage Hotel in West Hollywood. Our podcast is always powered by the Planet Water Podcast. So please subscribe, listen to us on all your devices, or you can even see it as a video on YouTube, what I highly recommend, because it's a lot of fun to see our faces, not just our faces, but our waters, what we have. And we have a very special water today because we're going to Panama. I never been to Panama. I really want to go so badly, and hopefully I can make a deal a little bit today with the family of this incredible water, Bambito. Hopefully they're gonna invite me one day to Panama. But anyhow, first of all, Michael, how are you?
Hello, Martin. I'm good. I'm just listening to your introduction and I'm thinking how much I appreciate that we have Zoom now. Remember when we still had to do Skype and it never worked? You constantly had any kind of problem. Now, I'm really enjoying doing this virtual travel now with Zoom because you switch it on and it works. It makes a huge difference, right? It's the absolute identical product, just a slightly much better user interface, and suddenly you have a totally different product. But I have been so lucky. I have been to Panama a couple of times, last times in January, and I'm very much looking forward to going back there in the future and right now to meet Jean Pierre.
No, this is incredible. And you're absolutely right, Michael. Technology is advancing, and I'm very excited to see it here on Zoom. The only thing what I would love to see, and hopefully Zoom will maybe listen to us at one point, I would love to see a little bit better picture quality. Right now, I feel like we're taping again in the late 2000s, and it would be nice to see a little bit more of an HD or 4K support. We'll see. Hopefully this will change. So it's not your computer what has a bad picture quality. It is actually right now, I'm so sorry, guys. It's our Zoom conference calls are not really high sophisticated in the picture quality right now. But the most important thing in a podcast, obviously, is as well that the sound is good, that we can at least having a good sound. And I think this works very well right now with Zoom. But again, with no further introduction, I want to go myself now, go to Panama, to Jean Pierre, and welcome from Panama.
Michael, Martin, thank you for the invite. It's a true pleasure for us to be here and be a part of your podcast today. We're honored and we're excited for this discussion and to showcase our products. So, you tell me what you'd like to know about Bambito.
Now, we want to know everything from you, Jean Pierre. So hopefully you're ready for it, because we want to drink it, obviously. But first of all, I really like to know, and obviously the listeners and viewers like to know. So Panama, we know where it is, but where is Bambito located? Where's actually the spring source?
Okay, so Bambito originates in the western highlands of Panama. Just so you can locate yourself, it's about an hour drive from the border with Costa Rica. So it's a drive north from Panama City, Panama, our capital. And the spring, it's located in a natural park, in the Bambito Volcano Natural Park. And our plant, it's just outside that park. So it's a beautiful place. It's 1,500 meters above sea level. And we're right next to Volcan Baru, which is the highest point or peak in Panama. It's a land known for its biodiversity, its natural riches, and the diversity of climates and soil. In fact, here in this part of the world, the region is well known for its fertile soil. So anything that comes from Bambito or Volcán or the region of Chiriqui, it's special because it's one of the most productive regions in the Republic of Panama.
It's fascinating, and I have been there, and I can really second everything you're saying here. For me, I discovered Bambito in early last year. Suddenly, a box of water showed up in front of the house. It usually happens, and I opened the bottle, and this evening, Erica was preparing some fish, and I'm always being curious. I opened the bottle, and had opened both still water and the sparkling water. And I have to say, both Eric and myself, and Eric my wife is a very good taster as well. We were very, very surprised by the water. We immediately said, this tastes unique, what is it, where it's coming from? And then we learned more about the water. We also, at this point, both made a prediction that if they would participate in one of our tasting awards, they would probably win something, and we can talk about this later on. But let me ask you, so you started not only with bottling in glass and PET bottles, but you also already have a distribution system for delivering water in Panama City, correct?
We do. And maybe allow me to share a little bit of the history of Bambito. It dates back to 20 years. This local businessman and entrepreneur, his name is Carlos Omlin, he started the business 20 years ago, but back then he was actually searching for coffee plantains with his wife. And as he shared with us, he walked into a retail store one day and he saw a bottle of water and he did not like what he saw. And he turned around and he said to his wife, I think I can do better. And he spent 3 years looking for the right spring in the Chiriqui region. And finally, when he found it, he did some research. He went to the United States, and they said that he probably needed to invest $500,000, which he did not have at the time. In the meantime, he sent samples of the water to a lab in the United States, and they came back to him and they said, look, your water is incredible. You're not going to have to do reverse osmosis on that water. It comes from a beautiful spring. And you can go forth with the water as it is and just simply preserve the natural and physical composition of the water. So that, that's literally how Carlos Omlin started the business 10 years ago. And then we as a group, Crenco, which is our holding company, we've been in the energy and gas business. So, we perfected the distribution channels in Panama. Our CEO at the time, Guillermo De Roux, became friends with Carlos Omlin, and he felt that he could really help him scale the distribution of Bambito. We shared common values, and 8 years ago, we signed this partnership with Carlos Omlin, and the rest is history. So we took this development from Carlos, and now we put it in scale, and this is what Bambito is today. So when we talk about distribution, when we talk about the water, there's actually a confluence of stories that need to be told in order to understand the full picture of Bambito.
So who had the idea originally? Did just like the idea came per se, okay, we're a gas company, let's find a water, or is it by accident found? So what is the history behind the water? So,
we as a holding company, we've been in the energy and gas business for 70 years. So I think we felt that we had perfected the distribution of commodities in Panama. And, when we looked at water, we said, this is a commodity we'd like to, we'd like to distribute. And, we started searching for possible partners, and, we found Carlos Omlin, who had this incredible product. I mean, we can't say enough about the treasure he had in his hands. And, part of the reason we're having this discussion today is, just him finding this water source that's been so incredibly rich and fresh, and which is a big part of our story, and, a big part of, the value added to our clients.
So it's fascinating. You're basically telling us that for the last 10 years, everyone in Panama was able to order, 5-gallon jugs of the water and was drinking the water, but no one else in the world had access to the water. And then you decided to also fill it in bottles, correct?
Yeah. So, Carlos had a very, very small operation. And, as soon as we met him and we learned of the company, we said, we'd love to help him grow the business. And, that's what we've done over the last 8 years in this partnership. I have to say that, at the outset of the venture, we were only focused in Panama. This thing of exporting Bambito only came about when we met Michael Mascha and his team, and we participated in the Fine Waters International competition. And that's when we realized our water was that good. We were solely focused in developing the market in Panama. And now, through Michael and his team, this just opened a completely new world for Bambito.
So do you know the market share in Panama? How many bottled waters? Because again, I've never been to Panama. So how many brands do you have in Panama? Do you know kind of where you're standing with your brand?
Yeah, we are currently, if it's related to spring water, we're number one. When you bring all the waters, and we have about 7 competing water brands locally, depending on the product or the presentation, we're either top 5 or top 10. But again, I think as we look at the market now, we've developed a niche that really appreciates what we have to offer, Martin. I mean, they understand the care that we have for the water. I mean, one of the things that, we've done from the outset with Carlos Omlin is that, whatever we did to the water, we wanted to preserve its natural composition. So, when we filter the water, when the water travels from the spring to the bottling plant, everything that we do around it is just about preserving the natural composition of the water, because we really want to bring that experience to our clients. Literally, we want them to feel like they're drinking water off the spring.
And I think you've done this successfully. That's almost a feeling I had. And I also think that the design of the brand and the bottle shape really has that kind of joyfulness and also a little bit of tropical aspects to it in a very subtle way without having a picture there. And we had some incredible food in Panama, and many of the restaurants, Bambito was served with the food. So it was really good to see. And I think from the little thing I've seen in the week I was there is you really have an opportunity there to compete with the imported brands, because I think, like in many other places, people think that an imported brand is superior to a local brand. And I think you have really a huge opportunity there to put Bambito at the same level as the imported brands and brand it as the local water, the local choice for Panama.
Mm-hmm. So, to Michael's point, we really go the extra mile in everything we do. I mean, if you look at the bottle, I mean, it's really elegant. It's a Boston round. It's heavier. We want our clients to have 100% look at the water inside. I mean, we really want them to feel like, this water is, what they're expecting from this, imagined or dreamt spring. So, a big part of what we do is, we put a lot of effort into how it feels in the hand of the client, how, they can look at the water and make sure that, this water coming from a spring, it's actually transparent. It looks beautifully perfect. I mean, obviously we have the logo of the 2019 competition where we participated. So, I think we go the extra mile. And, when we look at the companies we compete with, I think they have a completely different business model. I mean, we want to make sure that, whatever we're developing is number one in quality. And then, little by little, we'll creep up the rankings, both locally and internationally.
So both waters, because our viewers can see, I have 2 different waters right in front of me. One is the sparkling version, one is the still version. Are they coming from the same source or are they different sources?
They're coming from the same source. So as I mentioned, the spring is about a mile and a half away from the bottling plant. It travels through gravity to our plant, and then the filtering, it's minimal, so we can preserve the conditions of the water. And in this case, the green cap is our signature cap. In fact, we do recycling with this bottle. So we're the only water company in Panama that actually has a recycling program. So it's, we want to make sure that this glass, it's being reused by our clients. So, and also it's a beautiful bottle. So many people, use it, and then they leave it somewhere home as decoration. They put flowers in it. And then, we have the blue cap, which is this one, and this is the carbonated water. But it's water from the same source, bottled at the source.
Quick question, because I'm fascinated about the recycling factor. Not so many, like in Europe, we all know it's all about recycling. And people who are listening and following me on Instagram, they see a lot of pictures like how I'm like recycling a bottle into machines and they're getting pressed over there and then we're gonna get a new bottle. So you're telling me you're actually collecting back your bottles, you're washing them, and then water goes back into the bottle, or are the bottles been destroyed and you're recreating the bottle?
No, we in the case of the 750 bottle, we're collecting, we're cleaning the bottle and we're recycling the bottle and we're reusing the bottle with our clients. We have a price scheme that serves as an incentive for them to reuse the bottle. And again, I think it's part of our footprint, and we're very, very conscious of how our water may affect the environment. I mean, we're taking this incredible product to market, and then we just simply want to make sure that we're not creating a footprint of plastic or glass in the marketplace. And truth is, this is something that the logistics are complex, it's expensive, but we certainly feel that it's part of our value added to our clients.
It's very good. It's really doing the right thing, and as you said, it's really important, and it will become more and more important, and it become really a distinguishing factor for the brand as well. Not only selling you the water, but also this whole recycling circle. I just want a quick question. So Bambito, the name Bambito, it sounds really good. But what does it mean? Where does the name Bambito come from? What's the idea behind the brand and the name?
Okay, so Bambito is the name, one of the name of the towns in the region. And again, when you think of Bambito, you think of Volcán, you think of Cerro Punta in Panama. The connotation is exuberant, fertile ground, beautiful, incredible weather. I mean, some of the characteristics that you experience, Michael, are associated with the name Bambito. So, being part of that region, we felt that we needed to give it an immediate connotation to the name of the bottle, and just make sure that, again, if you're Panamanian, you know that, anything related to Bambito, Cerro Punta, or Volcán, it's good.
Yeah, that's first of all, I love the conversation, I have to say, but our listeners know we're getting now a little thirsty. And I have to say, everybody who looks at me right now, I'm always looking up and up and up, because I think literally like 13 helicopters above me right now.
Right.
We're taping in the beginning of June, and we all know what's happening right now here in America, that we have a lot of protests. And obviously, especially here in Los Angeles, people love to protest, what I think is a great thing to do. The only little problem is when we're doing a podcast that people like to see as well the broadcast and that we have protesters. So right now we have a lot of helicopters in front of me. So I'm always muting myself when I'm not talking, but hopefully everybody can understand me because it is a little noisy right now. But hey, this is life. But I brought somebody with me because I don't want to taste the waters by myself because I have a lot of helicopters right now. So I have a very special guest, and it's a surprise for Michael and for Jean Pierre as well, because I have a famous person right here next to me. Her name is Ginger Banks, right here. Hello, hello. And I thought we need a little woman power. It's the first time we have a woman in the podcast as well as a guest speaker as well. And I think this is great to have her as well. But we want to taste, obviously, your water. So tell me a little bit about your water. When I'm pouring, we have two waters now, and we're starting with the spring water, non-carbonated.
Okay, so before you guys taste the water, I can't do it physically right now, but I want you to hear the spring. Okay, so I'm gonna play the sound of the spring before you taste the water. Okay.
But I'm into sounds. Huh? I really like sounds because
Getting thirstier, guys?
it gives the impression of freshness as well to it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a really good idea. You know, it's first time that people actually play us the sound of the spring here. Very good idea.
Like so cheers, everybody. Cheers.
All right. Cheers.
So we should say, as you will immediately taste, the water has a low TDS. I think it's around 170 or something is the number. So it's very soft, very neutral. But I find it also very lively. What do you think, Martin?
Yes, I completely agree with you, Michael. It's a very smooth water. It's very round in taste, what I really like. But there's more going on. It's not just like a flat water, what like cuts through your tongue and that's it. There's a little bit more. There's like almost like this slightly minerality taste, I think, what you can easily taste out. What I really like. Ginger, what do you think?
It's delicious. It's not, it tastes pure, but you can still taste the minerals in it.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it.
I really like this. So no wonder there's a gold medal right there. Huh?
And so absolutely right. For a light water, it has character. For me, the water has character. It's not just a light water. There is something there. There's a character, and I think we should almost be able to pick it out in a line of other waters with similar characteristics because of this softness, roundness, but some weight and character.
Jean Pierre, it would interest me like the culinary scene in Panama. Obviously, I haven't been to Panama right now. So what do you think about this water and your culinary scene? Is there enjoyment? Is there a connection to it as well?
You know, Michael, now that you bring women power into our podcast, my wife is a chef. So, you know, it was really interesting for her to make the acquaintance of Michael Mascha because, you know, she herself went through the water tasting with Michael, and she learned quite a bit. She invited a few of the local chefs. You know, I think, you know, two things. First of all, our food scene is amazing. I mean, you know, I think, you know, we strive to become like a Peru in terms of, you know, our culinary offer. But I also have to say that, you know, what we have to offer now is it's really, really great. I mean, when you think of seafood and you think of fish, and you think of how fresh it is here in Panama and how you can combine it with Bambito water. I mean, you have dolphin dorado fish here in Panama, you have red snapper, you have wahoo, you have amberjack, you have tuna. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. And it's, you know, it's quite different from maybe what you get in the States right now. And, you know, I think, you know, and the more I speak with Michael, I think Bambito really makes a lot of sense with our culinary offer here in Panama because it's a lot of seafood, it's a lot of fish, it's a lot of plantains. So anyways, I think our scene is really, really good. We have, I have to say, we have like a dozen chefs. They're about my age. They're, you know, in their 30s and 40s, and, you know, they're up and coming, and they're a big thing. So, you know, little by little, the scene is growing here locally. And I think water is going to be a big part of that. And, you know, just having Michael here on his last visit, meet with the chefs and, you know, go through their menus and the water, you know, it makes a huge difference. We have to bring him back because we have more chefs.
Yes, as soon as this is over, yes, absolutely. Yeah, again, fascinating food scene there. As we said in earlier podcasts, you know, really the geography is destiny for cuisine, and you have many different regions there. You have different areas where you get produce from. And what I also really enjoy is the attitude of the chefs and of the cuisine in general, because it's very joyful. It's not stiff, kind of the French cooking where everything is very regulated. It feels very much, it has a little bit of a Caribbean feel sometimes. The flavors are much brighter sometimes. So I think also that the sparkling version, I don't know if you've tasted the sparkling version, Martin, fits really nicely with, you know, a little bit spicy food and with this vibrancy in the food that I have experienced in Panama.
I haven't tasted the sparkling version yet, but we're gonna do it obviously. And I would love to know from Ginger as well, like, ever been to Panama, Ginger?
No, I gotta put it in my list.
Here we go now, huh? Now we're already 3 people who wants to join who want to go to Panama. So we have the sparkling version. If this is artificial carbonated or is this natural carbonated?
Artificial or natural? Artificially carbonated.
Artificial carbonated. Who came up with the, do you know what you had in mind? Did you launch the green one here first, the still one?
We
And
did.
you had in mind right away, like to launch a sparkling version as well of your water? Or this was like, maybe you realized at one point, like, oh, I think we need a sparkling water as well.
Martin, I don't think we ever thought there was a we need. You know, we like to see opportunities and we like go chasing after them. So I think we saw an opportunity because, you know, all of the carbonated waters in Panama are imported. You know, again, we felt there was a niche for a local brand. And you know, as I mentioned, we thought out some of these products specifically for the local market. And, you know, we developed them as such. And now, you know, I have to say, as we've started exporting water to the United States, one of the most sought out products we have, it's actually the carbonated water. They really, really like it. I think it's a wonderful product. You guys can try it now and let me know what you think. But again, I think this is one of those opportunities that, you know, we wanted to go after something, a certain amount, and now we realize it's much, much bigger.
You'll make me thirsty. And now, Ginger, cheers.
Cheers again.
Everybody, cheers. Huh?
Cheers.
This sparkling Bambito. Oh, that's quite interesting.
Spicy.
Oh yeah, I like this. Did you heard what Ginger just said? She thought it's a little spicy.
Nice.
And we like this. I think that was really, really cool. Because there's like a little fizz to it. There's like a little spice to it. And that really like engages very nicely with your tongue. So I think this is great. I could see this as well. And that might be a new thing for you in bars for mixing cocktails. I think that would be very, very interesting because a lot of people are drinking vodka soda, gin sodas, this kind of things. And I think with Bambito, with the sparkling version, and not using a soda, using this would be very, very interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept, especially because of the low TDS, so it doesn't interfere with your triple distilled vodka or something. And I think it's a good idea. So, Jean Pierre, you're saying this water is now also available in the US in certain markets, right?
Yes. So, you know, after you visited, Michael, we started exporting our water to the DC area through the help of our brand ambassador Enrique Limardo, who's one of the really good chefs in the DC area. So now, you know, we were doing really, really well in February and early March, and then the lockdown came in, and unfortunately, DC is still under lockdown. But you know, we'll get over that. I think everybody's, you know, slowly but surely coming out of their lockdowns, and we'll get back on the saddle, and we'll be ready to continue our venture in the States. But again, everything we've been learning and doing in the States has been a pleasant surprise, and we could not be more excited about, you know, the direction of our business.
I have to say, it's again fascinating for me because when you look at the glass, and I think my viewers, I have beautiful sunshine right now with me and Ginger. There's a lot of bubbles actually coming up, but it doesn't feel so heavy on the palate. So you would think when you look at the bubbles, oh my God, this is a very, very high carbonated water, but it's actually not. It's like, it's a easy drinking sparkling water, I think.
I'm actually not a fan of sparkling water normally, but I would drink this. Because like, it's that, normally it's too heavy in my mouth. Like I feel like sparkling water, like it feels like acidic going down my throat or something. This goes down very easy.
That's good. but again, it has a little spicy note to it, huh? And that might be continued to the slightly, okay, the helicopter is literally over us right now.
Yeah.
Hello to the sheriff's department. But this is maybe the content of the slightly TDS level. What you come first, you have the bubbles, where it's a round feeling, but then it kicks in this slightly minerality, what Ginger described as like this little spicy note to it. Yeah, this little kick, what I think is great. I love this. Very nicely done. Michael,
we'll send you some more samples.
please. I like to be hydrated, and for sure Ginger like to be hydrated as well. We both have jobs who needs to be very well hydrated. It's very important for both of us to be hydrated all the time. Quick question, Michael, because you've been to Bambito, you've been to Panama. Do you see differences, the sparkling version versus the still version in the culinary scene as well?
No, I think that both of them really complement each other with the food. You know, as Jean Pierre was saying, the seafood, you know, very subtle prepared, maybe eaten raw, sushi, sashimi, absolutely the still water. But then you go to many places, and I'm not trying to pronounce them because I don't want people to laugh about the pronunciation, but I've been to fantastic places, very simple, where the food becomes spicy, vibrant, you know, all this colors in the food and in the taste. And this is where I think really the sparkling version really shines, and where a water like a Perrier, which has, you know, much higher TDS, would, in my opinion, not fit so well as this local water with the lower TDS. And this really, as you said, beautiful bubbles. I'm amazed how beautiful the carbonation is, because it's really difficult to carbonate low minerality water with artificial carbonation, because there's not so much TDS to hold on to. But for some reason, they have really managed to do this extremely well here. And you see, you know, they won with the sparkling version the award last year. And hopefully we'll see you again at the competition in October in Los Angeles.
Oh, we will. We're going for the repeat.
That's the spirit. Spirit, I like this. But what Michael just said was very interesting, because when you think about low minerality, and then you're adding gas, or you're adding carbonation, most of the low carbonated water is getting slightly acidic. And this water is not acidic at all. And what Ginger said as well, it's easy to drink. It's very easy to drink. So this is great. And so good job on the people, whoever was responsible for adding the carbonation in it. They really did a good job. It's not that easy, what Michael just said. It's really not that easy to adding artificial carbonation to a low mineral water, but you guys really managed that very well. And no wonder, it's a very good brand and very good water. So congrats on that. Jean Pierre, one more thing, because we're almost done with our podcast already. I feel very hydrated right now. The sun is shining, Ginger's right next to me. No wonder I'm feeling great. Is there something you wanna know from Michael or myself, or is there something you wanna tell our audience?
So, first and foremost, thank you for the invitation. I mean, again, we're honored to be here and be a part of this conversation. You said something about, thanking the people who make it happen every day. And, I can't speak enough about, our team and the group of executives and engineers who are working behind the lines every day to make sure that, Bambito is really going from this ideal to becoming a reality. And, the other thing I have to say is that, just from interacting from folks like you and Michael, we grow. And I think, from the outset, we had an idea of what we wanted to do. And I think the more, engaging we become with you and Michael and, the industry of fine waters, the better idea we have of where we want to go as a brand, and, what we want to become. So again, I don't have many questions. We speak to Michael all the time because we seek his advice on many matters of Bambito. But again, just from being a part of this conversation, it's really helpful. And again, I really, really hope that just as you gave us the time, in the coming years, you can see the brand grow in the States, that it becomes a mainstay, and it really becomes something special. And again, our main focus has been Panama forever, and now we're slowly but surely experiencing and making inroads in the United States, and we believe in our product, and we'll need the help of folks like you to make sure that our story is heard around, and for people to believe in what we're doing here. And again, Martin, you haven't been here, and I'd like to extend an invitation to you and your entire team to Panama. I think it's a beautiful country. I'm going to let Michael tell you about it, because we love it so much. But I think it's a special place, and what we've developed here in a way is trying to showcase what Panama has to offer for the rest of the world. So again, very, very happy. Thank you. And I look forward to meeting you guys in person when we come to California.
Thank you very much. Very good meeting you and seeing you again. Cheers.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, thanks again. It was an incredible good podcast. Thank you, Ginger, for participating there as well. It was a little surprise for everybody. So that is nice. And again, for all the listeners, what I'm always saying: stay thirsty, stay hydrated, drink good water. Bambito is definitely something. So when you're in the Washington, D.C. area, check it out. Incredible, good, sparkling and still water. And we both going to the pool now. Cheers. Cheers,
Thank
everybody.
you guys. Cheers.